giving him too much credit by implying he's thinking at all, particularly seeing as I'm suggesting he's thinking about the rules of football. Salisbury could write everything he knows about football on the back of a stamp, if he could write that is.
Tim Sherwood here, you're listening to the Villa Podcast.
That morning sky gave me a look, so I left while you were sleeping, that's all it took.
Yeah, that's 1 win in 4 now. We've conceded more goals than Man United, by the way. Our home form, our magical home form is terrible. The connection with the fans is now non-existent. This is a run of games since December. Like, since we beat Arsenal, we haven't won back-to-back home games. I don't know what's going on. It feels like we're definitely stumbling over some sort of line that we hope emerges beneath us. We hope that this 5th place line emerges, and I have to say, the way it feels right now, I've joked before about why would you want to go to the Champions League the way we're playing, but this, forget about the Champions League next season, whatever else, this just feels a bit hollow. This would be a hollow victory, beating Man United, getting 60 points and finishing the season on that, because I have to tell you, Liam, I can't see us getting any more fucking points.
What a hollow victory for Aston Villa, who were in the Championship 5 years ago, to all of a sudden be in the Champions League. Oh, who gives a fuck? What's the point if we can't even beat Brentford at home? But you're right, that was fucking disgusting. I went out for dinner. I went out for dinner with my wife straight after the match. I think she was trying to cheer me up, particularly because you decided to leave this fucking podcast hanging over me by pushing her out by a few hours. And she even took me to our favourite Italian. And when the waitress came over to take her order, my wife ordered a main and a side, classic combination. And I ordered a main. And then because my head was such a fucking fog and I wanted this fucking interaction with a stranger and this fucking day to end, I ordered another main. I panicked. And when the waitress called me on it, I fucking doubled down. And I ate the delicious food that was sitting in front of me. And look, the time hasn't done anything to clear the fog. And as it turns out, stuffing 2 main courses down my throat has done fucking nothing to get rid of the feeling of sickness in the pit of my stomach. Like, we were not good this afternoon, Colin. We looked devoid of ideas, heavy. Like me leaving that fucking restaurant. And then Lee Hendry's talking about how compact Brentford were. He said you could throw a blanket over them. I know Lee Hendry isn't the world's biggest fella, and he might have his little security blanket in mind when he's saying that. But even that's too big. They were so tight. They were so compact. They were like fucking packed like sardines in a crushed tin box. And after years of waiting, nothing came. We played right into their hands. Like, I know we scored 3 goals, but that was to a large extent the ineptitude of the Brentford back 3 and their goalkeeper. Like, 11 shots. 11 shots is not enough for the possession we had in that game. We had the ball for 70% of that match. Brentford had it for 10 minutes in the first half and then 10 minutes in the second half and scored 3 goals during that second period. Sickening.
The amount of goals we leak, not even concede, the amount of goals we leak is alarming. It's whatever about what it means in the bigger picture. It's just really not enjoyable when you're watching it. Like, you can dress it all up for me. You can talk about our journey or what a transformation it is for 5 years, how spoilt we are now. It does nothing for me in those 9 minutes. You know what? It does nothing for me when they get their first corner of the match. We're 2-0 up, and I still think, oh, here we go. They get their first corner, and I know they don't score directly from the corner. They score a few seconds after it. And then they score a few seconds after that, and then it doesn't stop. We collapse a game that we are walking through. We're 2-0 up. It's over. The game is fucking done. We're behind 3-2, and we need a goalkeeper cock up to get back into the match. Like, that's just not fun for anybody.
Yeah, and isn't it strange how quickly... Well, sorry, it's not that strange. I mean, we've had decades of this happening, but going 2-0 up... Now, I remember start of the year, October, November time, even going 2-0 up, that was it. Game over, relax, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I could not fucking relax today because we weren't playing well, and I just had it. I just had that feeling that this isn't done. We have to control this game a lot better than we are. And once Brentford scored, it was just doom set in, because Christ almighty, was that game only going in one direction at that stage. You could see it. You could see it in the players. You could see it in their reaction to it. Their heads were down. They were plodding around. They didn't know how to wrestle control back from that game.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is they had the ball for the entirety of the previous 60 minutes. Just do that again. That's how you see this out. Don't fucking panic. You're not me. You're a professional fucking footballer. You're not me sitting watching this. You're not playing with Ali Sissoko. You don't need to panic here. You're a team in the top 4 of the Premier League. Why are you acting like Julian Lescott is playing centre half? Fucking relax, lads. Just remember the previous 60 minutes of your life. Do that again.
Yeah. Like, I know I text you, and maybe I was exaggerating a little bit when I said this is the worst Villa team I've ever seen. But there was surety when I did, and I wasn't just doing it. I wasn't just crying it and trying to make it not happen. When it was 2-2, and I was like, "This is going one way. Like, we're going to lose this match." And I said we'd be lucky to get a draw now from this. I knew they were going to score next. Whatever was going to happen after it, and I think I was sort of happy they scored when they did, because then I knew they would stop, because they could have kept going at that stage. They could have just kept swinging balls into the box, and it all would have happened for them. Like, that's all it needed. We just completely freaked out. And another thing, and maybe we'll come back to this later in the show, but I think once again we were late with changes trying to affect that match. We were late when it was 2-1, we were late when it was 2-2, and once again, like the game against Man City when that was gone, we react when it's 3-2. We react when the damage is done. Emery is by far the greatest manager I have seen at Aston Villa, but he does need to act quicker sometimes to influence change on the sideline, because the team needs it. Like, it's good that he tells them to calm down, but it would help if he put somebody on there to make them calm down. Somebody who's not been suffering from the afflictions that they're obviously going through now in their own minds. Like, just change it up.
Yeah, you're right. Like, there is too much reaction instead of acting in advance. I mean, you have to stop the momentum. You don't let the momentum get away from you, and then, like, it's a lot harder to push back once the other team is galloping. Stop it when it's just in a trot. Like, it's 2-1 here. Let's figure out what we can do differently here. And even after we got the goal 3 back, and he sat the 3 lads back down, it's like, we want to win this game. Surely you were going to make that change, because we don't have control of this game. We're not creating as many chances as you want. So why have you stopped making? Why do you think because fucking Flecken can't jump that means we don't have to make these changes anymore?
Let's go through the goals, and it's hard. I'm trying to sort of decompartmentalize all this now, or compartmentalize all this, because the game wasn't that enjoyable, but I did enjoy how we scored and how we got the second goal. And I thought this was like the start of a game that was total control, a victory that was perfectly done. So I'm trying to just put myself back into that headspace for a very, very short time to go through this motions that I'm about to go through. The first goal is the first shot that we have, genuinely. And at this point, Lee Henry's right. Like, Brentford had everyone within 20 yards of their goals. Everybody, 11 players. I mean, so often we saw Bumo and Visa just there. It was a 5-3-2, but they were all so compact and so tight. But McGinn is so good in those situations as well, and it's just a lovely cross. So we weren't doing much to try and move these players around that often. I mean,
you can say that again.
Yeah, like a cross into the box every so often might have helped, and John McGinn just puts the ball into Watkins' head, and that's it. Like, that's all it took.
Yeah, and it actually all starts with McGinn trying a very similar cross with his bad foot seconds earlier. Yeah. And to be fair, it wasn't a bad effort either. Slightly overhit. And when the ball comes back to him, the cross is absolutely out of this world. He takes out the entire defence, and the header is nearly brilliant from Watkins. Just so well to get it down, because it's dropping over a defender's head. He's got great control on the header. Probably would have liked to go to the corner a little bit more, but it's a very good header. Now, either Leon Bailey has the best vision and spatial awareness in the world, or this lad needs to be checked for beta blockers or fucking Valium or weed or proprapanol. Like, how casually does he knock that ball back over the line? It was almost like he wasn't that interested. Like he just kicked the ball because it was in front of him, and like it was an involuntary reflex. I'm not even sure he knows he does it. He's just like, oh, let's knock that back in there.
Yeah.
I don't need Craig Butler to tell me Leon Bailey is one of the best players in the world and that he scores every game he plays and that world class flows through his every move. I know that. I've always known that. But how comfortable do you have to be in your own skin to claim that goal for Watkins? Like you can have that one, pal. I don't need it. I'll get one in a second myself. It's unbelievable. You're a forward, Leon. Fucking claim that for yourself. Peel away. Get your top off. Swing it around your head. I know it's going to be given to Watkins eventually, but you don't know that. How can you possibly know that?
Yeah, it was that casual. I assume somebody was offside. Just the way he kicked it in. It was like, the move's over. He doesn't care. The second goal, like what a start to the second half, and it all started just beforehand with Bailey getting maybe his first one-on-one. It's a lovely 1-2 with John McGinn. It's a nice ball into Watkins, and it's cleared, and Tielemans follows up, gets the ball, gives it to Konsa, gets it back, and it's the through ball. It's just a through ball that Tielemans is so used to. Rodgers is coming into a more central position, and Tielemans just says, there you go. It's just a short through ball, and like it's a lovely drag inside Ayer, and the finish just whipping it into the side of the net is really lovely. Let's just think about that for a moment, not what came after. That was nice.
Yeah, the turn is very good. The second touch is good. It's very calm, and the best thing about it is that calmness. He's looking. He's actually looking. Is there a better option? Nope. I'll just smash it into the bottom corner. And that's really how he plays, isn't it? Like it's just everything seems calmed and relaxed. And to be honest, Conan, when he's not skinning lads in the box and smashing balls into the bottom corner, it can be somewhat annoying seeing him do that around the centre of the pitch. But anyway, we're not talking about that at the minute. What was Ayer playing at? Like, I haven't seen a fucking Norwegian get fucked by an Aston Villa that badly since Martin O'Neill. Bakkeski over John Carew. What in the name of God was that? It was like a fucking longboat trying to turn in the canal. Well, he's a centre half. What was he playing at? Like, what was he waiting for there? What way was he turning in the wrong direction? It was fucking pathetic defending.
It really was. And then it all kicks off 10 minutes later or so. And like I said, it started with a corner. I mean, they put the corner in. They're all moving around a bit weirdly. I'm thinking, they're all moving around like a clockwork rotation. And it's just like, just put the ball in. It'll be fine. But Rodgers gets his head to it and he runs out to try and close it down. It goes the whole way to the keeper, and the keeper just kicks a long ball to the left. Luca Dean concedes a throw from that long ball. He's at right back at this stage. And then he gets completely distracted that he's over there. And he's trying, like, for a split second, he's trying to run back. It feels like he needs to go over to the left. He's telling Tielemans to come in the right back. Realizes that's stupid. So he moves back over to right back. Meanwhile, the ball's been thrown into play. It gets beaten so easily. And then the ball comes into the box. And, like, there's two free men in the middle of our box. After, like, this is, what would you say, 7 seconds after the corner's been taken. There's just two free men standing in the middle of the box. And thankfully, Visa takes it away from Jorgensen. They're both free, but Visa gets up and heads it away from the centre half. And then the ball in. Like, this is just so annoying. Like, fair enough, I want to be annoyed at us, but this goal is just pathetic. It feels like one of those goals only Villa would concede. It's just a mishit. I don't know if Damsgaard's trying to shoot, but he completely flunks the connection. And then it comes to Jorgensen. And he tries to kick it with his right foot and it hits off his left and it goes in.
Yeah, it's a really, really bad goal. And Dean panicking when he's at right back you're right, it's fucking stupid. It's even more stupid though, because when he turns around, the backline that he can now see is Konsa, Carlos, and Pau Torres at left back. That is fine. You're the only person out of position here. You don't need to be worried about getting back into left back because you're fucking somebody over there. The rest of that backline is fine. Now you just do your job. But apparently Luca Dean can only run at half his normal speed when he's on the opposite side of the pitch for some reason. I think he was afraid. He was afraid to move, afraid to be on that side of the pitch. And he almost literally froze. And Region outran him down the wing. And to be fair, it's a decent cross. And unfortunately for Region, Fucking Damsgaard pops up with the second worst attempted shot I have ever seen. And then Jorgensen's miss is so bad. He's actually closer to connecting with the ball after it hits off his standing foot.
Yeah.
Like he swung his right leg so poorly. It's so poorly timed that he swings his foot after the ball has gone past it. And it's still swinging after the ball has spun off his fucking stupid planted left leg. And it nearly connects him at that time. Like, it's unbelievable.
And that's all it takes. Like that's all it takes to get to put the shits up us. There's a story going around, a national story there in Ireland. It was about the basketball. There's a bit of drama in the local basketball scene, and the National Basketball Authority had signaled, or they had ruled that this game, whatever game it was, they had ruled that 0.3 seconds of that match would have to be replayed. Like it was the final 0.3 seconds. Whatever happened, the game was blown up too early. It seems 0.3 seconds too early. So they ruled that 0.3 seconds would have to be replayed. And I was thinking, you know what? If you could replay a 0.3 second phase from any sport in the world, what would it be? From any event in the world, what would it be? What could you even do? And maybe this would be it. You know, maybe Jorgensen would just connect with the ball the way he wanted to. You know, instead of missing it, or not, I was going to say missing it and then hitting off his foot. It hits off his foot and then he misses it. But like just something to just alter that course, that course of fate that was on. Like he was meant to not hit that ball, and it was going to hit off him instead, and then it was going to go in because Martin is completely wrong-footed by it. I mean, like that bit of jam that's brought on by us as well, but 2 mishit balls, and then suddenly our season's over because of it.
Yeah, but like you have to watch. Yeah, like, why is there 2 people missing the ball in our box? They're probably so confused by how much time and space that they have in the opposition box. And look, we'll come back to this Jorgensen cunt later on, but to be fair to him, he knows what's happened there. I mean, he's not peeled away, giving it the fucking machine gun celebration like Phil Foden. Like Phil Foden kicked the ball against Zaniolo's stomach and it goes into the net. Yeah. And he has the fucking gall to run over to the crowd and shoot at them. And Jorgensen knows exactly what's happened there, and at least he has the humility to walk back up the pitch looking embarrassed, and he should be fucking embarrassed because that was pathetic.
The equaliser, the second goal, comes very, very, very soon after. It's a cross into the box, and Jesus fucking Christ, like this is unbelievable. Anyway, I've said enough on this over and over, but it's a cross into the box. Pau Torres has no idea where he is. This is pathetic defending from him, really. The cross drops. How often are we going to have to watch a cross drop onto somebody's foot in our 6-yard box? I mean, it's a great connection on the volley from Bomo, because lets it come over his head and volleys it the other side. Like, what? Why is he allowed to do that? The ball's crossed into the box, and Pau Torres doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, yeah, let's get it out of the way. It's a really good finish from your hero, Bomo. Like, it definitely is.
I told you.
There were a few times against Man City when you could see Diego Carlos sprinting back into the box, you know, just abandoning his line and his teammates, and he's at it again here as well. Like, I don't think it's brilliant from Konsa, but the ball is on because Carlos is too deep initially. But the real question is, why is Mbeumo knocking around in the middle of our box like a fucking loner? Yeah. Like he fucking stinks. Get closer to the centre forward in our 6-yard box. Like, what was the point of Carlos running back for what? What was he afraid of? What had him running away from his friends? Surely he was worried about the big bad centre forward in the box. Like, I don't know what Pau Torres is playing at. Like, Pau Torres is close enough to him and he just seems to drift away from him. It's absolutely insanely bad defending. And once again, it's a fucking cross into the box. Like, this is going to be great crack whenever it's Vinicius Jr. trying to pick out Mbappe inside our box, isn't it, next year? Fucking Region to Mbeumo, goal. Christ almighty.
Then they take the lead, and it's a cross into the... This is a calamity of, I wouldn't even say errors, just things that are designed to wind me up. And it's Tielemans' foul on Damsgaard, and it's just such a lazy tackle. And what's worse is that he does nothing then to get back at the other side of the ball. And what's worse is that Douglas Luiz and Morgan Rogers do nothing to put a bit of shape in their midfield. They're just standing there along with Tielemans, looking at the ref as if they've been hard done by. They've just conceded 2 goals in 90 seconds, and none of them have any concern with stopping a third goal coming in. Our midfield are gone. Douglas Luiz, Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tielemans are standing complaining to a ref about a foul, a very clear foul, in the centre circle. Like, just get back behind the ball. Just put a bit of shape into your team. And the ball's just played very quickly. And then we start reacting. We're like, oh shit, look, suddenly it's in behind our midfield. And then it goes over Konza's head. Konza didn't have a good day. I'll come back to him. And he's not close enough. He's just so casual. I was going to say trying to get out there. He's just so casual, full stop. He's nowhere near getting out there. And it's just such an easy ball in. Just played across our 6-yard box again, and it's another tapping.
Yeah, 3 for 3, 3 crosses, 3 goals, and this starts with 1 ball over the top, 1 goal. Like, Konza has got to get closer. I mean, as soon as that ball is landing on Reguilón's foot, on the touch, he's in your fucking box. Like, Konza watches that ball drop over his shoulder, watches the arc of it over his head. Fine. But once he follows that ball dropping out of the sky and looks up and sees that it's Man United reject Sergio Reguilón taking the ball down, go out to the fucking ball. Are you seriously telling me you think you have to stand up there in case Reguilón skins you? Get out and take the fucking ball off him or block the cross. That is definitely going to come. He is not going to try and nick that around you.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it is Konza actually leans back as well. Konza is more concerned about conceding a penalty from a handball here than he is about cutting out a cross to a lad that's 2 yards out. In that instance, give away the fucking penalty. Like, that ball is getting passed across to somebody who else apparently needs a fucking shower as well because there's no other Aston Villa near him. Visa must fucking stink as well. But why does Konza think not conceding a penalty is the bigger risk here than Visa knocking the ball in from the fucking on the goal line?
Yeah, if the last goal was Vinicius Jr. to Mbappe, this one was just Vinicius Jr. to Bellingham next year. And in 9 minutes, we gave away the 3 points. That was it. Like, that's the reality. Like, in 9 minutes, we have now given Spurs 2 games in hand to go past us. 1 game will do it because their goal difference is already better than us.
By making fucking Spurs reject Sergio Reguilón sound like Vinicius Jr. apparently.
We get a point. I'm not even going to say at least, but we do get a point, and it's from a Leon Bailey deflected cross. This was just after Douglas Luiz was telling the crowd to calm down, which I didn't appreciate. And like, I get that, you know, he's thinking, look, we can't just rush it, we can't just give the ball away. That would be fine if we didn't have 85 minutes of boys just standing on the ball, not trying to move them around like we're just talking about. And this was just after Douglas Luiz telling the crowd to calm down, was just after Diego Carlos stood on the ball for 10 seconds and rolled it to Tielemans 2 meters away from him. 2 meters, I'm not joking. That did not need 10 seconds.
I think it was 2 meters.
Yeah, probably not. It was like at his feet. Just give it to him if you're going to give it to him. And the crowd got frustrated. Douglas Luiz like, oh, calm down. And we get lucky because Bailey's cross is deflected. It just sits in the air for the goalkeeper to come up and get. And the goalkeeper, who can use his arms while he's jumping into the air, gets beaten by a header. He gets beaten by somebody who can't use his arms. Watkins goes up above the goalkeeper who's got his arms above his head and heads it in.
Like, initially, Flecken reacts really slowly to the deflection on the cross, and at that point, he has to give up on claiming the cross, particularly if this is the limit of this lad's physicality. Like, I know he's backpedaling, but he's not backpedaling through a bowl of porridge. Get up, man. And you're talking about him using his arm. He's 6 inches taller than Ollie Watkins, and he can use his fucking arms. How has he gotten beaten to that? Like, it's a great leap from Watkins. I don't want to take anything away from Ollie. And it turns out Flecken didn't want to take the ball away from him either. Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, if he was going up with his head, he should still be winning that very easily, but he wasn't. He was going up with his hands above his head, and he still couldn't get there. Look, this was the long top of the show. Let's pause for a breather, and we'll come back with WhatsApp wins. A few fines to go through first. I probably got a new fining system here, or a new category offence, which is just these fouls at the edge of the box. I mean, Diego Carlos does one on Visa. He's going the wrong way. He's gone, like he's going out towards the wing, and we have this compulsion. They foul people and give them a 20-yard free kick. Douglas Luiz, again, I know we often keep an eye on what's going out of play from crosses, what's going out of play from balls down the sideline. Douglas Luiz chip one out for a goal kick, but I'm not even going to give him a fine for that, because I mean, you're allowed to try something. But the Rodgers pass to Luka Dean in the first half on the left hand side, when Luka Dean's gone on the overlap, and Rodgers doesn't even look. He just drills the ball to his left, and even if Luka Dean was there where he assumed he was never getting that ball. He just drilled it out of play, out for a goal kick. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where the lines of the pitch are, more importantly.
He doesn't know where he's on the pitch, right? He was 5 yards from the byline. I mean, that pass was overhit if he was on the edge of the fucking box. Why has he put so much on that? We're not trying to catch each other right here. How good's your first touch, pal? Like, what, you're trying to pass the ball to your teammate? Have a bit of fucking sensitivity with your balls there, pal. What are you playing at?
Konza hammered one at Leon Bailey as well from about 8 metres away. That wasn't accurate either, and it went out for a throw-in. Emi Martinez threw the ball out of play at one stage, and not just an Emi Martinez shithousen way. He actually was just trying to get a counter attack going to Bailey, and he threw it out of play, and then he tried to clear one towards McGinn, I think. Ended up going out of play as well. And then the worst of them all, the biggest fine and offence of them all, was Alex Moreno late in the game. Emi Martinez, in fairness, has played this stupid long ball down the left towards the smallest player on the pitch, and Moreno feels like he needs to foul them. If they win the ball, obviously, and Moreno fouls them in their half, player goes down, 90 seconds gone. It's obviously not added on, because we had probably the worst referee in the league, which we'll come back to in a second.
Let's just go there now.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Before we go there, because some people were saying it was hard done by, it was bad refereeing, but the first WhatsApp one is, what are you doing, Douglas Luiz? For fuck's sake! I mean, this is how many games are we missing players for stupid things? I'll tell you what it is. It's Kamara for three games for a stupid red card at the end of the Brentford match for a fight that had nothing to do with what was happening on the field of play. Missed him for 3 games. It cost us so much over Christmas. John McGinn, missed him for the last 3 games. It's cost us so much for a stupid kick in a Spurs game that was already gone away from us. Douglas Luiz now missing for 2 games. All he had to do is ride out another 20 seconds without making a petulant, stupid tackle, without giving the worst referee I've ever seen a chance to give you a yellow card. And he does it. Like, just shift your feet back and win the ball. How lazy are these boys?
Yeah, what a fucking idiot. You're right. It's not even like, what was it, a foul or was it not? What sort of a tackle was it?
Yeah.
Like, just win the ball. You're a defensive midfielder today. Just win that ball. You get fucking skinned. You should be embarrassed about that. And also, he's kicking through. He is kicking through too high. Any ref in the country is going to give a yellow card for that. And like, I'm actually surprised that Salisbury knew that's a yellow card tackle, because I don't think he knew the rules any other time during the game. It's idiotic from Douglas Luiz to do that so late in the game. And what is the risk reward here? The risk is you get a yellow card. The reward is fucking nothing. You might get a little bit of gratification because you kick somebody in the shin. It's pathetic.
Yeah, really pathetic. And like, for somebody who so visibly knew that he was walking a tightrope all game, to do that with 20 seconds left is so stupid. I can't even comprehend it. Now we're missing for the Arsenal match. We're going into the Arsenal match with Tielemans and McGinn as our midfield. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least McGinn's back.
Yeah, but this is it. We keep getting boys back, and then somebody else goes.
Yeah, the real problem is going to be the fact that we are now asking Tielemans to play another 90 minutes, and nobody can convince me that Yuri Tielemans can complete a full 90 minutes at the same level that he puts in at the start of a game. It's just not the case, and now he's going to have to do it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. And you know, I'm saying the Arsenal match. What's worse is a home match against Bournemouth, which is going to be a way worse feeling if we don't win that one. Look, we might as well just save that feeling for when it comes. The
Stay tuned.
the second mentioned it already, but like, was that low key or just high key the worst refereeing performance that you've seen?
Low key.
Yeah, this is it. Like,
This is as high as my voice just went there. That's how high a key it was.
I think
the fuck are you talking about?
I think the reason I'm saying low key is because I actually want people to know that this isn't anything to do with. I don't think he completely fucked us over. I don't think he did us any favors. I think he really gave them a lot of easy decisions around their box. But I just think in general he was just really stupid. It didn't seem to know the rules. He was really incompetent the whole way through. The penalty is a joke. The penalty shout that we didn't get. I mean, like, I am trying to remove bias from this and just look at his performance objectively. But like, that was unbelievable. And the thing is, was there anything more sure than that idiot Michael Salisbury given a free kick against Diego Carlos there, because he went in and spoke to him. And now he's just ready as soon as that corner comes in. We know it, we see it all the time. He's going to give the free against him no matter what happens. Like, after he spoke to Carlos, that meant that the keeper is allowed to push him. Now, it meant that Jorgensen's allowed to throw him, and the defender's allowed to put both hands all over him before the corner's even taken. They're getting away with that now because he's given out to Carlos. Because remember, you're not going to pull the wool over these referees' eyes, not in their watch. Like, that's the vibe. They don't look at what's happening. They're so paranoid about this image that they're trying to portray. And ironically, like we've probably mentioned before, their image would be way better if they just called decisions as they happened. But instead, they're so worked up about narratives. They feel like eyes are on them the whole time. Less eyes would be on them if they just made the right decision. But anyway, the ball does come in, and he is just wrestled to the ground. And not only that, Jorgensen gets rewarded for it. It's a free kick. It's not only that it's not a penalty, it's a free kick to Brentford for no reason. And obviously no VARs interrupting for whatever reason. Nobody even said, let's give me a second to look at this. The ball was straight back in play.
Yeah, people with low self-esteem are really, really anxious to make sure that people aren't taking advantage of them, or, you know, that they're not pull the wool over their eyes. But I'm a little bit annoyed at Diego Carlos here. Like, obviously, I'm gonna come back to it repeatedly. Michael Salisbury is a fucking idiot, right? Okay, but Carlos has done brilliantly to get into Jorgensen's head. Now put your hands down.
Yeah.
Jorgensen has lost it. He is so fucking pissed off that you're stronger than him. Like, put your hands down. You put your hands under his bicep. Class. That was amazing. That's pissed him off no end. But the referee is a fucking idiot. The ref wants to give a free out here. He wants to show that he's on the... To be honest, I'm giving him too much credit by implying he's thinking at all, particularly seeing as I'm suggesting he's thinking about the rules of football. Salisbury could write everything he knows about football on the back of a stamp, if he could write that is. Like, it's a fucking absolutely diabolical decision. He's literally been wrestled to the ground. He was body slammed to the ground, and it's a free out. Insane.
Unbelievable. The only other WhatsApp win I have is, this sport is far too easy to spoil. I mean, it shouldn't be that easy to make these games look so shit and be so effective defensively. I mean, somebody might say to me, well, hang on, Villa scored 3 goals. But did you feel like Villa scored 3 goals there today? I mean, I certainly have my doubts. And Thomas Frank, this is his 6th season with Brentford. His 6th. And they haven't progressed from the old Burnley. They really are just a spoiling team. They want to just go out and ruin games. They want to set up tight and hope that they can catch somebody on the break. And that seems to be it. That seems to be it. Like, I know he's like in his 6th season, he's rocking up in a pair of tracksuit bottoms and a hoodie. Like, especially in the navy black clash of it all as well. It just... there seems to be no effort from this man anymore. He's phoning it in. I thought he could do better than this, and I'm not just talking about his attire.
Well, I'm definitely not talking about his attire. Thomas Frank went to this game knowing that Brentford are not as good as Aston Villa, man for man, Con, for the love of fucking God. Like, Thomas Frank was playing at home against Man United and absolutely battered him. He plays the team that's in front of them. Man United are shite, so Brentford went out and blew them away. And was it not for the fact that their groundsman was worried about the fucking game being broadcast on TV, put an extra couple of licks of paint onto the goalpost? They should have won that game 4-0. Like, I wouldn't be having to go with Thomas Frank for realising that Aston Villa are better than them. I mean, let's not forget as well, they ended up scoring 3 goals. I think the big worry for Thomas Frank here, I think it was fine to sit in, fine to keep it tight against Aston Villa at Villa Park. Let's see what they can do. His biggest regret is going to be thinking, fuck, how did we not work more opportunities to cross the ball into the box? Like, I should have known that from before. I should have picked that up in the games that I was analysing before this. And then once we scored 3 goals from the first 3 crosses we put into the box, why didn't we just keep doing it? Like, literally every opportunity, get it down the wing and swing it into the fucking box. That is going to be his regret. His regret isn't going to be that he set up tight. I mean, he scored 3 goals away from home. His regret's going to be that Flecken, his fucking goalkeeper, can't jump, and that he didn't ask his players to cross the ball a bit more often.
Okay, let's take a break, and we're going to come back with the award categories. A very subdued Ronnie Rosenthal award this week. A testament to your hero, Thomas Frank's brilliant setup and defending and nullifying Aston Villa. The first one is a Brentford chance. It's an Mbeumo free kick off the side of the net. It's from the Carlos foul on Visa that I was talking about. And then the second nomination I have for the Ronnie Rosenthal Award is a corner for Villa. This is the one that Luca Dean whips in and Pau Torres tries to flick it on, but he doesn't connect with it. But Flecken convinces himself that he has to dive and palm it away into the box anyway. The third nomination is a corner again. It's all set pieces. Free kick for Brentford, corner for Villa, flicked on by Rodgers. Seemed to come through the Konza's hips, and he couldn't just hip it into the net. You know, that was unfortunate that we missed that one as well. And then, God's sake, this is grim. I only have 3 more nominations. I think there was a counter attack in the second half. And this was a nice pass from Pau Torres out to him again. It was just so intentful, so straight, direct. Remember what we used to be like? And again, whips it out to Bailey, and he goes on the outside and he tries to find Watkins. And Nathan Collins just deflected into the keeper. So unlucky. And this was the one that Watkins followed up. And Flecken seemed surprised that other people will try to get onto the loose balls that he spills in the box. And seemed upset.
Which he should be fucking used to. Yeah. How many times has that happened in his career?
And the 2 more nominations that I have here were Jorgensen from corners. Just a mishit again from him. Well, Martin, the next corner from that as well, Martin has punched like Flecken. They only got 3 corners, I think, and every time it looked like we were about to concede from it, obviously. And then the winner. This isn't funny at this stage. We can make a Courtney House comparison, but I don't even have it in me to laugh about it. The ball comes in from John McGinn. He said, right, let's just do this again. I'll cross it in. Gets it on Desiree Konza's head. And I don't even know what he's trying to do here. He's just not even facing the right way. It looks like he's trying to head it where he did, which is back and high. He's not. There's no part of Ezra Konza trying to head that on goal and for a goal. I think this just led to the Luca Dean bicycle kicked in over the bar. It was when that happened. It was like, go home.
Yeah, like it's very hard to find a bigger Konza fan than me. I mean, to use your language, I rep him. And to use my own language, I write him. I mean, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like, it's not even. I don't even know if this can be nominated for a Rosenthal Award because I'm not sure he was trying to score. Like, there's no possible way you can convince me that he was trying to get this shot on target. It's so fucking bad, and it has come off his head so fucking plumb. I'm surprised it didn't knock him out. I mean, his neck must have been so tight there that he's got whiplash now because there is absolutely no nuance to what he's attempted to do there. It's like he's just jumped up to let the ball hit him off the head. It's absolutely insane. It's a pathetic attempt at a header. I mean, it's just, and so disappointing as well, because it was the only chances we were getting were like that. It was just a little dink in from John McGinn. I was so fucking infuriated whenever that happened. That Luca Dean going for the bicycle kick. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are, pal? It's actually not that bad an effort.
No, it's not.
But fuck off.
Yeah, it was just the fact that this free header then like it became a fucking bicycle kick for our left back. I was like, for God's sake, why has it come to this? Why we're not just celebrating a goal? I mean, like, we have a whole analysis team. Like, it's Austin McPhee gets all the praise. I mean, he's just at the top of a team there. He's got a lot of people underneath him, and whatever they're doing with their figurines and their mannequins and moving things around on the magnet board, like, look at some stats. Look at what Ezra Konsa is giving you from these corners. That's just how little goal involvements that they have. How often is he clearing the ball away when we are attacking the corner? So maybe you start thinking about where else you can put him. I'm not saying don't put him up, because obviously he's a big presence. Obviously he's a centre half that should be able to get his head on the ball. But maybe don't have him.
Oh, he can get his fucking head in the ball, all right. Too much of his fucking head in the ball.
Maybe don't have him in the middle of the box trying to finesse a header behind him into the net, into the corner, or whatever. Have him the back post. It's Julian Lescott, the Tony Pulis corner. Whip it. Like, if you just have him stationed there, somebody will have to go for a mark him because it's Konsa. And if they don't, whip it in, and he'll head it, just tell him they head it back into the box. He's well able to do that, it seems.
But the weird thing about this was a perfect defensive header. Just get up, get something on him, make sure nobody else does something about it. It's a shame whenever it's going in the other direction, never seems to be under the fucking ball. We had another chance as well in the first half, I think it was, where Dean whipped in a corner. You had Lee Hendry's acting like he's never seen a game of football, or particularly Aston Villa play before. Dean goes for the near post. I think the wind catches it, he said. Well, the wind must have caught the two fucking Aston Villa players that are running to the front post to try and get their head in it as well, Lee. What the fuck are you talking about? The wind catches it? He's just hit a corner to the front post. Why is this so confusing for you?
The Peter Enkelman what the fuck award. I mean, we have the ball, it's so comfortable, and Pau Torres just lets a pass get away from him, and then he has to foul and boom, it's a free kick in a dangerous area. Just this stuff was just happening all game. It was such a sloppy performance. And before I let you in on that one, I want to mention the Paul Merson. Oh, that's just filthy award. Even though I don't really have the heart or the stomach to do it, but it's actually the Paul McGrath. That's just filthy award today, and it was Diego Carlos' slide tackle. A slide tackle interception, really. It was a 2-on-2. It was Konsa style. That's probably the best thing I could say about this intervention. He stayed with his man. Like, this is the one that Emi Martinez did a big clap above his head. I think it was 0-0 at the stage. Brentford had a very brief breakaway. It was just a ball played over the top, 2-on-2, and Carlos had the wherewithal to stay with his man and then intercept the through ball from Mbeumo to Visa, and it's very, very nicely done.
Yeah, the way we were defending today, I'm surprised that Carlos didn't stand up and get Emi Martinez's two fucking hands, clap him across either side of his ears. It was so comical. The reading of the play from Carlos there is absolutely brilliant. The stretch is absolutely brilliant. It's really good football from Brentford. Actually, it's a lovely little pass in. Most important
design of Thomas Franks.
Should have just crossed it into the box. Never mind all this fucking tippy tappy nonsense. The most important thing here is how quickly Carlos gets back up. He gets back up and he plays it out to Konsa. It's absolutely brilliant defending. The first half as well, he was really showing how to do it by Leon Bailey, and Leon Bailey is closing down. I think it's Visa, or maybe it's Region. It's Region, yeah. And I'm not fucking convinced this shouldn't have been a penalty. And to be fair, at no point did Craig Butler ever mention anything about Leon Bailey's ability to defend or ability to tackle? He was very specific that it was his attacking qualities that made him one of the best players in the world, Colin. I mean, Bailey was showing us that he was literally a flying winger there, the way he threw himself through the air. But I'm not sure that's what Butler had in mind whenever he was lauding him. Fucking insane stuff from Bailey.
Yeah, like this. It was the first thing I wrote down, because I thought when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, he's going up in the Vimy meter now, whatever happens, even though we're only a couple of minutes into the match. It's like great tracking back from Bailey. And then I watched the replay and it was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah. And it seemed like he got away with it because it was a bad cross. But was it a bad cross because he got cleaned? I don't know. They didn't say once again, they didn't seem to bother looking at it too long.
I think Bailey just benefits from the fact that the shot has gone and he sliced it wide, and the only person I've ever seen get a penalty after he's had the shot was Lionel Messi at the Lionel Messi World Cup, when he went up for a header and the keeper cleaned him, which you see 90 times every season. You see it once every match nearly, and Lionel Messi got a penalty for it. There's no way Leon Bailey was going to concede a penalty from that penalty. Take them down, break their legs, do whatever you want whenever somebody's having a shot.
Did you like Glenn Whelan taking 90th minute penalty award? 30 minutes in, we had a free kick, right? And at this stage, 30 minutes into the match at home, we haven't had a shot. We haven't had one shot. And we have a free kick 22 yards out, 21 yards out. And it's Luca Dean and it's Douglas Luiz standing over it. Both men well capable of hitting a direct free kick into the net, or at least working the keeper, or at least registering a shot for us. But we want to gain an extra 6 inches. And Luca Dean plays it to Dougie to tee him up to get that extra 6 inches. And by the time we've gone through this pointless routine, 2 Brentford players are out 10 yards to block it. Well done.
It's like out 10 yards is absolutely right. I mean, they were on the shot. I mean, they were in danger there of actually fucking taking the free kick for Douglas Luiz. They got so close to him. Absolutely. Like we've talked about this before. Sometimes we're moving the ball around for no benefit. You know, this is similar to us, you know, working the ball all the way around the edge of the box for Youri Tielemans to have a shot in his left foot from a corner, you know, from the edge of the box into a packed box. What was the point of this? The ball is dead as well. There's absolutely no benefit. The ball is stopped again. Yeah. There's no benefit to this at all. Have the shot or do something that creates more space. Yeah. Like I don't want to be too simple for Austin McPhee here, but that's what I suggest that we should be doing. And a couple of weeks ago, I forgot to put Jamie Redknapp up on the Vyman meter because he couldn't remember.
They all come round.
Because he couldn't remember Austin McPhee's name. He had to ask Kelly Cates, what's his name again? And I was thinking, what a fucking hero. I am sick of talking to this lad. And the only thing bad about hearing Jamie Redknapp say that was the sinking feeling that I realised then he's actually not listening to the Villa podcast.
The second nomination, speaking of pointless acts, Douglas Luiz coming back to take a goal kick. And take it and pass it to Konza. I mean, he's coming back with his back to goal. I mean, Martinez is looking at him. Sorry, not with his back to goal. He's back to the pitch and he rolls it to Konza. This was just all happening during the madness. We completely just forgotten how to play football at that stage. And like, there's so many other nominations we can throw into this Glenn Whelan award. What's the crack with Diaby? I mean, like, suddenly he gets a bit of form. We've been crying out for Diaby to be a bit more like Bailey, and we're getting it, and then we just don't play him. We bring him on in injury time. You should have brought him on a 2-1, should have brought him on a 2-2, definitely should have brought him on a 3-2, and he doesn't. And I know that he seems to think, well, on the left hand side I've got Rodgers and I've got Zaniolo, and on the right hand side I've got Bailey and I've got Diaby. That doesn't have to be your only choices. Diaby's been playing up top as well. Like, just find somewhere else to put him in. He's been playing so well.
The goal kick is so strange. Does Austin McPhee think that he has? Does he think he's figured out corners and free kicks? Is that what's going on here? So now he's moved. What's the next realm? What's the next thing to break down? He's tried throw-ins on Matty Cash. That was such a fucking roaring success. He can move on from throw-ins. It's moving on to goal kicks now. This is the next frontier. This is the next way to figure out how to break a team down by getting Douglas Luiz to roll a goal kick to one of the other 2 centre halves who are in the 6-yard box along with it. We started off a goal kick with 4 players in our fucking 6-yard box, and it ended up with Luca Dean on his own fucking corner flag kicking the ball up the pitch. Yeah. And what was the point of that? Yeah, that was absolute insanity.
And in the spirit of these routines that never make any sense, they never get us into any more space, we now have our ball playing midfielder out of the equation. He's rolling it to somebody who's under more pressure now in his 6-yard box because he doesn't have the Douglas Luiz outlet to roll it to.
And do you know what the most pathetic thing about this is? I was watching the Chelsea Man United game. They're thinking, Jesus Christ, Chelsea are absolutely shite. They reminded me of Villa under Steven Gerrard, or the end of the Dean Smith era, where it was Douglas Luiz dropping back into centre half to get the ball and then trying to play a 60-yard pass towards the forwards because we don't have any midfield anymore because the midfield's next to the fucking centre halves. We're doing it from set plays. We're bringing our centre midfielder back to the edge of our own fucking box. What? Like, this is I can't think of anything stupider than this. Like, how are we supposed to have chains up the pitch if one of the fucking chains is the first link? Incredible. I just don't get it. I'm just not thinking on the same level as this man, I suspect. Diaby obviously needed to come into that game earlier for a whole host of reasons. We could have tried other things. Brentford were so tight, we could have tried to go around the outside. Why did it have to automatically be Zaniolo came on there? Zaniolo was shite when he came on. Could we have tried Diaby on the left wing? Didn't need to think that hard though. Bailey had stopped playing. Bailey was done. Bailey was done in 65, 70 minutes. Why did he stay on the pitch till the 88th minute? That was ridiculous as well. Get Diaby onto the pitch. He's got 2 goals and 3 or 4 assists in the last 4 games. Why are we holding him back so much?
The last nomination for you, like Graham Whelan taking 90th minute penalty award, is throwing the Man City game to get a point at home to Brentford.
I can tell you something right now. That's not the last nomination. What the fuck was the axis of Konsa, McGinn, and Bailey in that second half about? That was as bad as the fucking axis in 1940. Like, why do we have Ezri Konsa standing in the half space picking up the ball against that setup we were faced with today? Against that setup, what am I talking about? Why do we have Ezri Konsa standing in the half space ever? What is that about? Ezri Konsa standing there. There was one moment in the second half where Konsa was standing there and he got the ball. Finally, he had moved into right back, got the ball, played it back to Tielemans. And Tielemans was like, no, here, and gave it back to Konsa. You're free down the wing. Konsa played it back to him again. And Tielemans had to push the ball past Konsa to tell him what the fuck he was doing. But Konsa had been so confused because he spent the majority of that game standing on the ball, looking up at a big load of spare dildos standing around the box, not knowing what to do except rolling it to Tielemans. That's all he did all game. And it's like, how are we having Ezri Konsa in the most important attacking position against that setup?
I have no idea. And like, it probably brings me on very naturally to the Vyman meter, and the first player going down is Ezri Konsa. And I know the way we were set up didn't help. And I think the Brentford probably targeted him as well to let him. I think the stat came up that he had most touches of the ball. Not surprised, but like, it was so bad on the ball, very untidy in possession. Like, it gave one away in the second half. I'm 2-0 up at this stage, so I'm not in the depths of, being unreasonable at that point. But he's just not moving it quickly. Like, he gives the ball away because he doesn't roll it back out to Bailey in quick enough time. And then he did this little jump. He just jump and stand and then look. This is all before he decided to start jogging backwards back into the counter-attack that he's given away. I didn't enjoy his performance anyway. Didn't like it defensively. Thought it was really bad on the ball. And then that attitude-wise was obviously sort of how the whole team were feeling today. I think that United game on Thursday night, it was in their heads. I think there's a common relaxation now that these boys, they've stopped like the whole opportunity talk from Emery that got us all going. The whole before the Man City game, we were like, wasn't that unreasonable? It would have taken absolutely something special to barge our way back into a title race. But the facts were we had City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. If ever you wanted to get yourself back into a title race, you wanted to play those boys. And Jesus Christ, we've got 1 point from the last 2 games now. Like, that's gone. We're not in a title race. I can confirm that. It seems like the boys have stopped pushing. It's like they're not putting themselves under that pressure anymore to get into the top 4. They're just trying to consolidate what they have, and they're not even doing anything about that. They're just hoping that the season ends before United can get to 61 points. and look, that's probably my toxic trait as well, but I'm going to be looking at the United results still. I think we've ballsed this up. I think we should have just gone and put them completely to bed today. We should have been 14 points clear today, but we're not. and we've left the door open. They're 12 points behind with 2 games in hand. If they win those 2, they're 6 points behind, and we still have to play Liverpool and Arsenal.
Conan, the only way Man United can stop Aston Villa from qualifying for the Champions League is by finishing bottom of a group of Galatasaray and Copenhagen and thereby fucking up our coefficient. Like that. Man United are not a fucking threat. You're saying, oh, if they win their 2 games, then they're only 6 points behind us. That means Man United have to win 4 games and Villa have to do nothing during that time for Man United to catch us. That is not going to happen. Forget about Man United. Man United are dreadful. I was talking about how bad Chelsea were there the other day. They fucking beat them 4-3. Chelsea are shite. Chelsea are not a serious football club, and they were able to handle Man United. Man United are not a threat. Stop talking about Man United. I'm going to stop talking about them right now, actually. This is ridiculous. Konza is going down in the vitamin meter. Yes, he didn't play well. He wasn't helped by the system. I think once we saw how Brentford were setting up and how they were approaching that game and how Thomas Frank was being very clever. No, how Thomas Frank was being a coward, how he was actually getting into that game. How Brentford were double marking Leon Bailey. Damsgaard was over at him every time. We have to give him a hand. We have to tell Konza to change how he's playing, or preferably for me, maybe get on somebody who can do that. Why not bring on Kessler Hayden? Why not put Konza back into centre half? That sets us up better to handle counter attacks as well. Get Kessler Hayden going around the outside of Leon Bailey, giving Leon Bailey a bit of extra space. We can't play games at Villa Park allowing Leon Bailey to be completely nullified because he's being double marked and the right back's not doing anything except standing there on the ball.
Going down, I think Pau Torres is going down. I mean, he played one nice pass to John McGinn, but he's at fault for the second goal. I think this was the sort of game that he's supposed to be so crucial for us as well. I don't think he really gave us that today.
No, he was very deliberative on the ball, and seeing as you said he played one nice pass. I don't think I need to keep talking here. Like that's all you could say about him. He played one nice pass. Of course, he's going down. He's a fucking professional footballer.
Yeah. Douglas Luiz has to go down. I mean, he's out for 2 games now because he couldn't just keep a lid on it for 10 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, like I don't want Morgan Rogers to go down. We should be celebrating his first goal. A cracking goal. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is off the back. This is his 4th start now in a row. And before the Wolves game, it was brilliant. The running power, the bit of trickery of his feet, it was great. We could see, okay, like this boy's come to play. Like we can do business with this guy. But like I've never seen a fading out like it that wasn't a Man United game. You know, I've never seen an individual just go off a cliff after the high that he had from his goal. And Yuri Tielemans probably the same, but it's so depressing that I would say this. But maybe that's not his fault. Maybe we shouldn't expect him to play 90 minutes in midfield.
Well, if it's not his fault, it's the fucking strength and conditioning team's fault. Yeah, more like Morgan Rogers. Yeah, I can't. But where did he go? I have no idea what happened there. I mean, he just couldn't get back on the ball. He couldn't find the spaces. I should have encouraged him. I should have put a spring in his step. It's very hard to put him down after a game where he scored his first goal in the Premier League, and particularly a goal like that as well.
No, that's fair. Morgan Rogers' place in the vitamin meter is secure, revoked, is going down. The only person going up has to be Ollie Watkins. It's incredible. It's a shame that we couldn't just come on here and just worship this guy, really. Like that's what I thought today was going to be about. I wanted to put the Brentford fans down for booing him. I mean, Jesus Christ, get a grip. And this is the most honest, hard-working, humble, likeable footballer who scored a goal against you last at the back or the first end of this year. Jesus Christ, the first half of the season. And he pointed at a fan who was calling him a wanker. Like that was it. You don't need to boo him now for the rest of his career. But anyway, Watkins, I mean, 2 goals today again. He's now like properly in this race for the Golden Boot. I mean, he's got 18 goals. Haaland's has 19. Like, this is a real ding-dong battle now. I wouldn't put it past him to go and win the Golden Boot against Erling Haaland as well. He's broken the Premier League record goal scoring for one season already after one season. So, like, this is amazing what he's doing. He's doing it without penalties. We all know that. Cole Palmer is joint third on the list, but people seem to forget that 63% of his goals have come from the penalty spot. I mean, like, that's not going to appear in all these Sky Sports stats that we see. Salah, Solanke doing well as well, but Watkins is up there with Erling Haaland out on their own. 18 goals for him, 19 for Haaland. He's just amazing. It's just so good to have him back. With supposed to have a hamstring injury. We were all worried that he was going to be out for a longer period. He's back again after one night's rest, and he's back scoring goals.
Yeah, and the fact that he's figured out how to head the ball now as well, what a threat that makes him. I don't really like this without penalties talk. Like, why is Ollie Watkins not hitting their penalties? Like, it's a it's a good skill to have to be the number one penalty taker for your club, especially if it's a big club in the Premier League. I mean, that's nothing to be particularly ashamed of. It doesn't. I don't think it takes away from it. The fact that the person is stepping up and taking the penalties and scoring them is a skill in and of itself, and it's a goal scoring skill as well.
Definitely, and this is, I want to be clear that I'm not praising him really for not taking the penalties. I don't think he deserves any more praise than anybody else on this list. I think it's just notable that out of non-penalty goals, he has more than others. I think if he was taking the penalties, we had 4 this season, he wouldn't have scored all 4 of them, and that's not a good thing, and he doesn't deserve credit for that. And he could be he could be top on this list if he did hit a couple of those into the net, but he's not hitting them for a very specific reason. That's his fault. He's had enough chances to hit them. So yeah, he doesn't deserve praise for that, but just in terms of his numbers, in terms of contributions without the penalties, is incredible. And yeah, like the Palmer, like, let me clarify, Palmer's obviously a good player, and he's obviously ice cold from the penalty spot. But it's
fuck off, you dickhead. Fucking watching 2 plonkers run around, including Morgan Rogers doing that celebration today. Fuck off.
It's an irritating celebration, I'll give you that. It's going to be more annoying when he does it at Villa Park, when that not serious football club beat us at Villa Park as well. But the Chelsea penalty stats are ridiculous. They have 11 penalties this season. Enzo Fernandez missed one. I think it was him who hit the first one, and then Palmer seems to have hit the rest of them. That's mad numbers. Villa have 4, like I said. I think Liverpool are the next team on that list with 8 penalties. The amount of penalties Chelsea have gotten is noted by me anyway. Let's just put it that way.
Don't worry, we'll foil them at the edge of the box before they get in though, Connor.
Do you have anybody else going up or down from this game?
We didn't get to Michael Salisbury. I know I called him a fucking idiot repeatedly, but I don't think we fucking finished off on that job. You know, stage where John McGinn Douglas Luiz does the pirouette and John McGinn is free. I think it was 4v2.
Oh my God.
John McGinn gets his pass right, he definitely would have.
Yeah.
And one of the Brentford players that was back there as well was Jorgensen. So he probably would have gone AWOL looking to give Diego Carlos a hug as well. So essentially it was a 4v1 and Salisbury fucking blows us back. But like, luckily that all evens out. Blows up at half-time as well. Blows up at half-time as Mbeumo is running free on goal. And look, I'd be pissed off as well if I was Mbeumo, not because I'd be stupid enough to think that Michael Salisbury is capable of using judgment or of refereeing a game of football, because I really like playing football. That's why I'd be pissed off. And that was fucking Mbeumo's first touch of the ball he had in 45 minutes. And Salisbury decides to referee the game like a fucking neurotic social welfare officer. Oh, there's nothing I can do. Them's the rules. What do you want me to do here? Fucking idiot. Diego Carlos. You remember Diego Carlos got booked? I don't think Diego Carlos has ever done anything as gentle as that in his life.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say he's tended to fucking bonsai trees with more aggression than he went into that tackle with, and he comes over and waves a yellow card at him. Insane stuff. The lad is a fucking idiot.
Like that is honestly my prevailing thought. A lot of these referees I get so annoyed at. I think they've got deeper, more cynical motives behind what they're doing. This guy is just stupid. He is a plonker. That's all it is. That's my only overriding thought with him. In a way, it's more innocent. It's still equal. It's still annoying, but it is less. I feel less personally attacked by him. More just, I really, really hope I don't see that guy again. But I think that's probably my point as well. When I say low key, none of these decisions are ever going to be looked at again. Like, he's not going to. This isn't going to be on ref watch. I mean, those 2 clear penalties that we talked about of Diego Carlos being dragged to the ground, of Reguilon being cleaned by Bailey. Imagine that happened in a Man United game. Like Howard Webb is being held to the stick for that. But I mean, this like Michael Salisbury isn't going to have to answer for this. That's it. The Diego Carlos yellow card was unbelievable. Nobody's going to ever say to him, "What did you give the foul for there?" Okay, okay. And why did you give the yellow card there? Like that, every decision he was making was like that today. Anyway, another bad day at the office. Do you remember a few weeks ago? It was like, "Oh, Liam, we are fighting. We're in for a war. It's 11 games to go. Let's go. 6 games to go. We are crawling over that line." Let's just see how the rest of the weekend goes. We've got a big week ahead. We've got European football on Thursday, and we have Arsenal on Sunday. Massive 2 games. See what sort of team we can put together for them. See what sort of appetite we have for that fight, for this war that we've been talking about. I'm not sure about the recording schedule on Thursday and Sunday. We'll be tight enough to those games, but it might not be on the day of the matches. So just keep an eye on our social channels, namely Twitter, to just keep an eye on what we're doing.
Are you talking? You can just fucking text me because it's the first time you've said it to me. Why would I be keeping an eye on our Twitter account? Just tell me now. When are we doing the podcast?
I don't know. Is the point? We're going to be together on Sunday, maybe Sunday night. Yeah, we'll see the crack. But we're out of town. Big birthday bash. So we're going to just see how that one goes. Keep an eye on Twitter, like I say. And yeah, we don't need to have a live production meeting here on air now in front of our listeners. Anyway, thanks a million for listening. Look, a really annoying day. So yeah, enjoy your week. All the best.